Muses are kind of like characters, only they are more.
They are pretty much the same.
But Death.
It sounds like you said death.
Oh, it's like it was like I was saying "guh," like that one Shadow Siren. Like that's what she always did. She was like "guh." I'm just like, I was like, "Are you?"
Shadow Siren?
Yeah, from Paper Mario 2. It was in your door. Like she was like "guh." I'm just like, is that all you can say? Apparently
Oh man, it's
so.
been a long time since I played that game. I should probably play that game again.
Yeah, I should too. I'll resort that for another probably stream though, just because I feel like if oh crap, the power went away. And yes, I'm sure someone who watches this is gonna want me to bring it up. If you carry a Koopa shell, oh, Dad, blame it. Yeah, Flying Goombas are a pain. Now, there are different hierarchies to the Flying Goombas. One can barely lift off the ground because it's a baby flyer, whereas some of them have full wings and can fly just like you can. Albeit they don't have to charge up first. So you have to be a little more cautious around them, because they can come at you from out of nowhere. Now, there is a one-up trick here. If you carry a Koopa shell here, and the Lakitu can be carried all the way over here, the Koopa shell will keep destroying the Spinies that it drops in this little alcove here for eternity, or at least until your time runs out. So that's a pretty nice one-up trick, and is something I abused when I was a kid. Whoa, that's some skillful dodging right there. Okay. Can I pull this off?
I remember one of the Mario games I played. Annoying. He's throwing little spike ball things at you instead of spinies.
Yeah. Later on, the Lakitus evolved to the point to where they could throw Spinies out, which would actually turn into different creatures. And that's typically the Lakitu we got in all future games that can do that. Another frog suit. Now, I've shown that the frog suit is pretty darn useless, at least on land. However, in the sea, it rules. Yes, you get much better advanced swimming when you're wearing the frog suit. You don't have to swim upwards anymore, and you swim a lot faster. However, there's no real way to attack with the frog suit, so your speed is your only advantage. Now, you might think you could swim in between these electric jellyfish. You can't. However, you're not affected as well by the currents from the pipes. So if there's a secret pipe that you have to get into through the current, then you need the frog suit. And here, Fish Deluxe cannot eat you because he's using his young to attack you. I mean, she. It's a she. Get it right. But yeah, that's the only advantage of the frog suit. I'm still not a fan.
It's better than Spring Mario, but then again, everything's better than Spring Mario.
I've never used him. Wait. Yeah, I have. Are you talking about the one from Paper Mario 2?
No, Spring Mario's from Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Well, I played Galaxy 2, I just don't remember. I've only played it once, so,
I have played it once, too.
well, you have a better memory than I do, then. The only thing I particularly remember from Mario is the annoying as crap bonus stages that have to do with the catapult-like things, and the story time with Rosalina. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really nice. That would be a really great children's book.
When I told Roger that, darn it. when I told Roger that my favorite part from Galaxy was the story time with Rosalina, I think he was kind of insulted because, like, he said, "Dude, like, there's so much to Galaxy. Why is that your favorite moment?" I said, because it was the first time in the game where I was really invested into the game, like, because there were so many screens in Galaxy that just felt kind of generic to me. I kind of liked the first world, and the second world was okay, but most of the worlds to me weren't very creative to me, and I just felt kind of, I kind of felt like they were treading old ground with some of this stage gimmicks. But the overall graphics were pretty good, and I did kind of like the, I won't say I like the motion controls. I actually think the motion controls in that game could have been a lot better, but I kind of like the idea of the motion controls, though, giving you a different way to control Mario. Also, before I go any further, yeah, these little spinners. They are in this game to kill you. Because if you're standing on them when they go off, they will spring you into a pit. Every time. So, yeah, not a fan of those, definitely. But back to Galaxy. Galaxy, to me, is a fun game, although I would recommend playing it with a long-range Wii mode and not stuck with the wire, otherwise you're probably going to catch yourself on it more than once because of the catapult things. Yeah, the small things that you have to rewind back like a slingshot and kind of bounce you from place to place, hate those with a small cord. Because when I would used to try to pull the thing back, I would always pull on the cord. So,
what cord?
Oh, the cord connects to the Wiimote. I mean, to the nunchuck, not the Wiimote. Excuse me.
Oh, I never had any problems with the controls in Galaxy, so we're on complete opposite sides there.
Well, yeah, but I've pretty much come to that conclusion because, well, a lot of gamers really did not take well to a lot of motion controls in games. You did. You love motion controls and everything. So, yeah, I don't really agree. Like, I played some games that did it well, like Skyward Sword, but, other games, not so much. I hate Metroid Prime Trilogy because of the motion controls. It ruins it for me.
You can play with a normal controller in that.
In what? Metroid Prime
The Prime games?
The Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Wii?
Yeah, you can play with a normal one. It originally came out on the GameCube.
Oh, huh. I might actually have to try that. I was actually going by the assumption that you couldn't because it was made just for the motion controls. And
No, Nintendo, they usually let you play different ways, so that wouldn't... I think you'd be able to play that with a normal controller. I mean, even in Smash Brothers, you can play with a GameCube controller.
Well, I know you could do it on Smash. I'll take your word for that and try it later. I'm hoping you're right.
I don't know for certain. I'm just thinking you should be able to.
I'm hoping you're right, because in its current form, I cannot play it. And even Roger, who is a big fan of motion controls, said that even he doesn't like the motion controls for it. I mean, not Roger, but my best friend Mike, excuse me. He said he likes motion controls, but because he has both Galaxy games, and he likes the motion controls in those. But the ones from Metroid Prime Trilogy? Oh god, he played it for like 5 minutes and said, "Okay, I'm done." Yeah, this stage scarred me as a kid. Because I was wowed by how expanded the world was, but when I got to this stage, yeah, I screamed over and over again at Stupid Fish Deluxe because the screen is constantly sinking down, and there's very few platforms where you can seek safe passage on. So not only do you have to be quick, but you also have to dodge Fish Deluxe while you're doing it. I'm better at it now, but I didn't have the stage memorized when I was a kid, so I would always make very clumsy mistakes, like missing a jump, or not getting through it fast enough due to me not being as good at the platforming. No! No, 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 no! Oh, thank God. Okay, that was kind of close. Yeah, going down there is really tempting, but don't do it.
Actually, how can you even go down there? They don't give you that much time.
That's why I say don't do it.
But they give you the option. That's cruel.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yes, Admiral Akbar, you're right. That is indeed a trap to kill gamers. Okay. Okay. It took the hit for me. They give you a white block that you can sink down in, but it really has no purpose in this stage. But now we're introduced to the bomb-bombs, called B-bombs back in the early days. Now, at this point, they really aren't that dangerous, though, since they don't have the intellect to chase after you. No, in this one, you stomp on them and that's it. Yet, you do have to be careful with the blast radius, though. Now, you have two ways you can go, either left or right. Left takes you to a frog suit, which I really don't care about, and right just takes you out. So I'm going to be going that way. Now, it's worth noting that if you're rescuing a lord in this game, and you go in there with a special suit, three special ones in fact, you can get different messages from the lord. One is the frog suit, ironically enough, being the worst power-up you could take in there.
Is that a boat?
Yes, it's a canoe.
You get to ride in a canoe?
Yes.
Okay.
I will demonstrate.
I thought we were having a level on a canoe or a boat or something.
Yeah, when I first got this, I was like, I'm on a boat! Woohoo! Yay, go
Insert
me!
Lonely Island song here.
I wouldn't know that song.
Someone will get that reference.
I'm sure they will. Because I know not only will it be on my Twitch TV recordings, but it will also... I will also be uploading it to YouTube. Whee! Another frog suit. Joy. Hey, fire flower, something I can actually use. Yeah, after we leave the third world, we're not really going to be seeing much use for the frog suit, unfortunately. Durg!
Durg.
Yes. No! Come on, really? And now for probably the biggest tease this game could probably do to you. If you go all the way to the right, you will see the castle, but you will be unable to get off from here. Yes, Mario cannot get off on any of these areas, so you have to go through the pipe.
I'm assuming they're like high water or something. They're like high. They're like bluffs all around there, and you can't exactly get off that.
Also, there's this a bridge-like area over here But for the life of me, I don't know why it's here. It's not like there's a secret area you can break open to get over here. It's just kind of there. It's a drawbridge, but it doesn't take you anywhere. But yeah, at this point, we are done with World 3. And now, for the third castle. And it got turned into a platypus. Or is
That's
it...
platypus? I actually think it might supposed to be a kappa.
That's a kappa?
Maybe it's supposed to be, because it kind of reminds me of one, but, you know, Americans wouldn't get that.
Yeah, like, well, you ruined the joke I was going to make. I was going to say, is it a platypus bunny?
It doesn't look like a platypus bunny.
I know it doesn't have the ears for it, but I still had to make that joke.
Platypus bunny!
Yeah, you can do that way better than I can. I cannot do the jubilous singing voice. I can't do it. I've tried.
Every time I think of that, I think of Todd singing it in the Les Miserables musical.
Yeah,
because it's just so funny.
I'm surprised he found that, because according to people I've talked to, the Platypus Bunny dolls and whatnot are extremely rare, because it's apparently based off an anime in Japan, but it's a very, the dolls that they made from it are very rare, and you can only find them at specific Japanese shops, so, I'm surprised.
I didn't even know Platypus Bunny was an actual thing. I really thought you just made that up.
Oh no! Remember he mentioned that he found a doll of a platypus bunny, and that's actually the doll is what they actually blew up and made bigger, and that's what the Nostalgic Critic was talking through when he was the platypus bunny. And I was like,
oh, when did you mention that?
Yeah, it was during the Last Airbender review, and where it was his spirit animal. He's like, oh crap, this is my spirit animal. Really? Come on. Like,
I couldn't think of a better spiritual animal for him.
And I that was just hilarious. Okay, but to bring up this real fast, you'll notice that Wendy Koopa uses a different strategy than all the other Koopas. Instead of trying to hit you with laser beams, she actually throws these bubbles out, which is appropriate since that was the water world. And yes, everyone mentions this, but the king or lord of this land looks like Mario, only do a different colored skin. I'll get into that in a second, but greetings. The white block contains magic powers that will enable you to defeat your enemies. I have enclosed a jewel that helps protect you, Princess.
How is she getting these letters to him?
She's writing them to him from the Mushroom Kingdom.
So Bowser lets her do that.
No, as far as we can tell, Bowser is not in this game.
Okay, so the Koopa kids are letting her do this.
They haven't gone to the Mushroom Kingdom yet. They've only pretty much conquered the many nations around the Mushroom Kingdom.
Isn't she captured?
No, not yet. These are just letters she's writing to Mario while he's going out to save them.
Oh, okay. I wonder how they deliver messages in this world.
Does the Lakitu do it?
Messenger toads?
I would assume maybe... We don't know if there's friendly Lakitus, because it's Super Mario 64. So I'm beginning to wonder if there's either it's a friendly Lakitu that delivers letters, or it's Parakarry.
I think I'll go with Parakarry because that's what I was thinking when you said that. At least it makes more sense than in Galaxy.
Yeah.
Where she's literally capturing the toads like, hey, the princess gave me this thing to give to you. I'm like, how?
Did she give you the letter and throw you down, like, across space? Because I can't imagine that would be very safe.
I can't imagine Bowser would be like, oh, you want to give this thing to the toad to help defeat me? Okay, cool, go ahead.
Well, she couldn't have said what the letter was for. She could have just
But
said...
she keeps giving you them throughout the place, so it's not like she did it once.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see your
She
point.
did throughout the thing where she gives you like life, like one-ups and stuff.
Yeah, well, would her excuse be? I'm just writing a letter to Princess Daisy, telling her how I've been. He's like, oh, well, that's okay, just as long as it's not to Mario. You know, I could be proofreading these letters, but I'm not the smartest Koopa in the clan,
I
so
trust you.
yeah, I trust that you wouldn't try to
Or
trick
maybe it's
me.
because the guy on Game Theory said this is basically part of their like little foreplay thing that they do.
Yeah, a part of me wants to buy into that, and a part of me doesn't. I think the part of me that doesn't buy into this is just because, well, for one thing, Princess Peach isn't the only one that's, part of the whole kidnapping thing, because so is Princess Daisy. And I'm like, unless we're going by the explanation that Princess Daisy is as desperate as Peach, as well as
Well, they are cousins.
as well as
Maybe it runs in the family. Yeah, they're cousins.
and what about Rosalina? Like, how do you tie her into this? Like, is she?
Well, she doesn't really tie into the whole thing because she's in a distant galaxy, galaxy thing far, far away.
But he claims to kidnap her as well, or at least her kingdom. So
Yeah, that happened once.
yeah, but I'm just
Maybe something happened with Peach and they couldn't do their foreplay that day, so she recommended her cousin, and she said, okay. Because what else does she have to do?
I know someone in the comments for that video actually brought up something else, but I can't remember what it was. Like he said, this doesn't hold water when you consider. I think he brought up like characters like Wario and Waluigi, and he said, well, what's their part in this plan? Like, Wario's just in there for the money, but like why is Waluigi involved? And what about the Toads? Like, the Toads are actually hurt whenever the kingdom gets destroyed, so, like, does Peach not care about her subjects when she does this crap? And then they brought up that, he's like, and what about Luigi? Mario's in it for the fame, but Luigi doesn't seem like the type of character who'd be interested in glory. For one thing, he's too much of a coward for it, to be the hero. So, like, what would his reasoning be for going along with the plan? Is he being...
Maybe because his brother asked him to.
I don't know, and there's one other character that they mentioned, although it's a character I don't recognize. But what one theory I do agree with without question is the Mario is asshole, where he went through the different...
Oh, yeah, I thought that was a joke the entire time.
I was like, oh my god.
Although that one picture, he had a Mario with, like, the red eyes, so that was terrifying. I never want to see that again.
Were you able to sit through the whole 2 videos?
Yeah, I sat through the whole 2 videos. He only showed that picture in the first one.
And I was like, I did not know about the arcade game where he's like whipping Donkey Kong and he's performing tricks. I was like, dude, not cool, Nintendo, really. Like you're showing Mario out to be like a complete and utter evil slave master. And
Have you ever thought maybe this might be psychological, because Donkey Kong is from Mario's point of view, where, oh no, this monkey stole my girl. Then in the sequel, where Mario has a whip, it's from Donkey Kong's point of view, where he's this horrible taskmaster.
no, that's not the game I'm talking about. The game I'm talking about is where you actually see Mario with the whip, and you see Donkey Kong like performing tricks and whatnot.
Again, this could be psychological. That could be what Donkey Kong sees.
I don't know.
Besides, if the whole original backstory for Mario was he was like a circus performer and his girl got out and took his girl, then he would have a whip. That's kind of what they did. I don't know. I thought most of his evidence was like, okay, this seems kind of weak. Unless you're trying to throw continuity in my Mario, and I don't really need that.
And then I saw the scene where Luigi was like winning this trophy or whatnot, and he was stomping on his foot. I was like, okay, screw it, I'm done. Like that's undefendable. Like, you cannot defend that.
Yeah, that was just weird.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, either Mario's like the biggest jerk of all time, or he just... No, he's just the biggest jerk of all time. Like, I cannot think of an excuse for that. Because I'm a big fan of Mario, so when I saw that video, I was like, I can kind of see where you're coming from, but maybe it's just Nintendo being like anti-Donkey Kong. Like maybe it didn't mean anything. I was wrong, because apparently, people have brought up that there are other games where Mario is just kind of either indifferent to other people, or he's like laughing at them. Like in Mario Kart, which one was it? Mario Kart Wii, where if you see Bowser winning, like you see Mario try to shoot a fire flower at him, and I was like, I know you're supposed to hate Bowser and all that, but you guys are supposed to be on good terms in the sports game, so what the heck?
Mario's a sore loser.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. But, but yeah, like, a lot of the game theories things stays pretty true. Like, a lot of his, like, research does sound like it could apply to a lot of different video games. I'm actually trying to think of any of his that I didn't agree with from the start, though, and I can't really think of any.
And I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't either. Like there's a couple where I was like, really? You're really going there? But I never found any that was...
Most of the time I'm thinking, well, I could kind of see what you're going for. And other ones I'm like, yes, that is completely right. I agree with you. Like his Majora's Mask one, about how Link is dead the whole time.
And the one where it's all pointless anyway, because of the moon falling, it's going to cause catastrophic results, which, well, let's face it, even if we're going to ignore video game logic and whatnot, and the fact that it's in another dimension, the fact that we're going for the fact that it's at least loosely based, because, you see people that are very similar to the people from Ocarina of Time. So by that logic, I always assumed that the alternate dimension also goes by the same laws. Besides,
yeah, it's purgatory.
Yeah, it's purgatory, so if...
Yeah, I completely agreed with it. It completely goes with the timeline, and it makes sense.
Ryan refuses to agree with it because he doesn't want his childhood to be shattered. Like he said...
Oh, come on, Majora's Mask is a horrifying game anyway.
Like he said...
Like, not a bad game, but it's, like, kind of horror-ish. It's creepy.
Like, he said, I grew up with this game, dude. I don't want it to be like... Wait, what? I think someone wants me to play card games. Because that one just showed up after I got finished with another one. But yeah, like he said, I don't want my favorite game to be about a place where I learn about accepting death. And I was like, well, too bad. Oh, where is that stupid 20 coin? Ugh. You know what? I suck at matching. That's as simple as it is. Ha. Power Wing. Interesting. Now, I haven't talked much about World 4, mainly because, aside from it being trippy as heck, not as trippy as World 7, but still pretty trippy, there's not really much unique about it. I mean, the creatures are big, which is certainly interesting, but only for so long. When I was a kid, I think I was like, oh my god, everything's big. Holy crap. They've learned how to abuse the mushroom. But aside from that, it doesn't really throw any new challenges at you that you haven't seen already at this point. Except for this. The homing bullet bill. Yeah, these will actually turn around to chase you. So you can't just wait for them to pass. Oh crap. Okay. Yeah, the homing Bilbo launchers are kind of annoying. Now, aside from that, though, it's pretty standard stock. There's really not anything new it's gonna throw at you. And, gee, it's just like the standard 2D Mario games now. Yeah, I can hear you booing me, but it's true, admit it. The new 2D Mario games do not do much at all in terms of creativity. I'm sorry. I mean,
I agree, they don't. I like the new one, Super Mario 3D World. I like that one. I think that one had the most creativity than any of the new Super Mario games, because those seem to be basically the same old thing.
You know what's interesting is Game Theory did an episode on that too. And,
Yes, he did. Very long one.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you know, he has a point. People always cry out for creativity in games, but that is never reflected in the gaming market, because, you know, we have the Halos and Call of Duties and whatnot that are still on top of the charts. If people really wanted the creativity they keep asking for, then it would show up in the sales. Now, in this one, he actually becomes a dinosaur, which is odd because I think this is the first game that actually had a dinosaur in it. Because Super Mario World expanded on this idea, but this is the first time you see one. So yeah. By the way, any of you out there that that leaps off a Yoshi just to gain a little extra height and make him fall into a pit, you can burn. Like, seriously, you all can die. Because, you know what? Like Yoshi has been friends with you since you were a toddler in continuity. Like, he was there to guide you when you were a baby Mario. And that's the thanks you give him? Just, wow.
I didn't even know people did that until I saw a Game Theory's thing on that. I'm like, oh.
They do.
I didn't even know people did that, because I never tried to do that. I always tried to keep Yoshi.
And I'm just like...
But, you know, that's the player's choice to do that.
I don't care. No. No.
I'm saying that's not a flaw in Mario, because the players are doing that.
Well, that's aimed at the players. I am just like, you know, that is just like, I know that playing around with Yoshi and Yoshi's Island wasn't exactly the most fun experience, considering how often you had to, not to, use the pun, babysit the baby Mario. But, still, knowing how much Yoshi means to Mario, and how much he probably loves him like a brother, that's the thanks you give him. Like I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it. Like do what other people have done to Yoshi. And people are like, oh, you're taking this too seriously. It's just a video game. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're right. It's just a video game. So, next time I play online with you, I'm gonna shoot you in the head. What? It's just a video game, right? There's no reason to get angry.
Cheap.
Well, it's cheap, yes, but it does prove my point.
No, it doesn't.
Because that's like the excuse people will give. Oh, it's just
because that's cheap and it hurts other players, whereas jumping off Yoshi doesn't hurt the player.
They probably do it to me. That's my justification. I'm going with it. Okay, seriously, why aren't the wands being slanted on the ground? I'd really like to show that off. But yeah, I've had my complaints with certain gamers on certain video games. Particularly the ones that I've seen my best friend Mike play with online on Halo, who have basically are there just to screw him over, and I'm just like, yeah, Mike, you need new friends. And he said, nah, everyone online's like this. And I was like,
And people wonder why I don't care too much about online play.
Well, I'm not gonna play with strangers. I play with my friends, so I'm never gonna have to worry about that. But greetings. The thief who stole the whistle has escaped to the east side of the sand dunes. I have enclosed a jewel that helps protect you, Princess Toadstool.
I just have a whole bunch of jewels in my place to help protect you. I just can only send one at a time.
Yeah.
Eric Carey can't carry all these jewels by himself.
Also, this is a typo. She says the thief who stole the whistle. Correction, Princess, there is no whistle. The east side of the sand dunes will give you a frog suit. So yeah, you were kind of mistaken on that. Oh god. Not the clouds. Yeah, any place that involves flying in the sky and whatnot tends to freak me out. I'm looking at you, you stupid bonus screen in Super Mario 64, where it throws you into the sky with no warning, and only one safe platform for you to land on. Screw you!
When was this? I'm trying to remember that.
Remember when you got so many stars, and you would look up and at the,
Oh, in the middle of the court opening. I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's like, it's the kind of paintings that you usually have at church. The, what are they called? I can't remember, but anyway.
Stained glass windows?
Stained glass windows, yeah. And well, the first time I did that, I got sucked right into the sky, and I'm like, ah! Where am I? What am I doing? And then I was like,
Flying.
yeah, I'm flying, but it's all sky. There was no safe platforms at the start, and I was like, there's no place to land. Like, what am I supposed to do? And then I saw a small platform, like, to the right of me, and I dived to get to that safe platform, because I'm freaking out. Mostly because I have a fear of heights, but also, yeah, throwing you into the air with no warning and no idea what you're supposed to be doing is not a very nice thing to do. And it's,
That's not nice, Nintendo.
yeah, it's not nice. Okay. Now, there are two passageways here, and I'm going to try to get over there. Okay. Save state. Now, if you screw up getting over here, you don't die, thankfully, but you do fall down. And down. And down. And down into pipe hell, it looks like. Into the dark water. By the way, anyone out there in YouTube land, any of you remember Pirates of Dark Water? That was an awesome cartoon, man. This
is definitely way back. I don't even recognize this.
Yeah, the Pirates of Dark Water was, again, another Hanna-Barbera cartoon. But unlike their normal cartoons, which had extremely low budgets and looked kind of crappy compared to other cartoons, well, throw that out the window for Pirates of Dark Water, because it had an amazing budget. The characters look awesome. They actually look like actual pirates, most of them.
Hanna-Barbera and budget don't really go together too well.
Well, that's not the case here. And at this point, we reach the gate. So, back we go. This is the other exit, which I'm going to demonstrate. But Pirates of Dark Water was amazing. It never got finished, though. It was like at the 40th episode, I think, and then it got canceled. And I was like, no! Come on! Like, it was getting to the good part, too. Okay, to give kind of a description of what it was about. It was about this, what was his name? He was like the Prince of Myrrh, and, he traveled with this other black pirate who was kind of the ragged type pirate who was always out for treasure and whatnot. And he also teamed up with a female pirate who was out to avenge her family, and later on she got caught in an incantation, which gave her the powers of sorcery, because an old sorcerer was dying, and he passed on his power to her. So she was part magic at that point. And it was a very interesting show. And there were these 13 treasures of myrrh, which he was called the Son of Primus, and his job was to get the 13 treasures of myrrh to stop the evil dark water and its toxins from conquering the whole entire world. Because I can't remember what the guy's name was who commanded the dark water, but he was a powerful dark king who was able to use the dark water to swallow up anything. It was pretty much like toxic water, because if anything touched it, it ate it up, and it was gone forever. So the dark water was definitely bad news, and you had to be careful dealing with it. I think the Lady Pirate, sorry I can't remember any of their names. Rin, that was the main character's name. Rin, Son of Primus, and I only remember Rin, though. The other characters, I don't really remember too much, but I know there was an off and on relationship with the Ragged Pirate and the Lady Pirate, because, like, he was always admitting that he didn't hold feelings for her, but you know he did. And I was always wondering if they were ever going to expand on that relationship, and they never did. So that was kind of disappointing. But I did love the different story characters. They also had a monkey bird join them on their quest that could talk. And he could also fly, which was pretty interesting because you find out that normal monkey birds can't fly because their wings are too short. So that was pretty interesting to find that out. If I could find it on DVD, I would, but I can't. It's one of those cartoons that was never really brought back into circulation. Which is sad, because, you know, other Hanna-Barbera cartoons have, like Johnny Quest and Godzilla, but not this? I mean, Godzilla and Johnny Quest are both great shows, don't get me wrong, but I think Pirates of Dark Water was better than both of those. But, alas. They also never brought back the cartoon of Peter Pan, which was made by Fox Cartoon Studios. That was also pretty good. But anyways, I'm getting off topic here. World 5. I don't know if I've seen anything that would really qualify as really shocking me when I was a kid. But I was still pretty impressed. Because this is the first game that had each world that had a different element to it. Because in the first Mario game, every stage was pretty much the same with very little changes. Like sometimes there were slightly different colors to it. Sometimes you had to ride on giant mushrooms to get across areas. And sometimes they had different enemies, but that's about as original as the stages got. In Mario 2, well, let's face it, it's not really Mario, it's another series altogether. So I don't think it really
I had so much fun with that game, though.
Well, I did too, but looking back, is it really fair to compare it to other Mario games? It's not like...
Yep, I will. They made it a Mario game. I will compare it to a Mario game.
Well, okay, if you really feel that way, then I'll say this much. It did introduce some new gimmicks. For example, you could actually climb on vines in this one, which is something you could never... Well, you could technically climb on a vine in Mario 1, but it was an automatic thing, and it was only used for bonus areas. Whereas here, the vines were all over the place, and you had to constantly climb them to get to future areas. And also, you could actually play for more than Mario and Luigi. You had 4 different characters to choose from, and they all had different attributes. Luigi had a much more advanced jump in this, and it was very useful for getting to really hard-to-reach areas. Toad, admittedly, wasn't the most creative character in the world, but he was lightning fast, could pick up veggies pretty quick, which is useful for defeating Birdo, because that it is the same for her eggs. as well as the fact that you could easily get through certain obstacles with Toad because of his being able to pick up items fast. But most people didn't use him because he had the crappiest jump, and in a platformer, jumps are kind of important, so yeah. Wait. Oh god, now we are in the clouds. Crap. This actually scared me as a kid, because again, sky areas make me kind of nervous, but also, because we're cresting in the clouds, there's nothing but pitfalls, unless you're in a fortress. But, yeah, Mario 2. We also had Peach, which is... We didn't know her name at the time, we just knew she was the princess, and she had the unique ability to float across obstacles. If someone wasn't using Luigi, they were using Peach, because they both had the most abusable skills. Mario was just kind of average, more or less, and Toad just sucked in people's eyes. So, on occasion, people might use Mario for a challenge, but I can't think of a single person who ever used Toad, aside from Gaijin Goomba, who actually will say that Toad is his favorite character to use in Mario 2, which I thought was pretty fascinating. Oh, and we get a new suit. The Tanuki suit, which acts kind of like the raccoon suit, but if you push down in B, you turn into Statue Mario. And yes, people are going to say, this is such a racist suit. The Tanuki had nothing to do with turning into a statue. It had mystical powers to control different elements. And I'm like, yeah, but... to be fair, are you really looking for actual factual history in video games? Because I sure don't. I mean, if they're gonna use actual history, I'm not gonna complain, but, I'm one of those people that really did not care. One way or the other.
I don't care either, I just want an entertaining game.
And that's also...
I don't want it to be offensive, but I don't really see anything offensive.
And, I lost my P-Wing. I gotta use up some items. I'm gonna have item space. If you haven't been able to tell yet, I'm pretty good at this game at this point, to the point where I don't really need to use items that much. Getting rid of some of these stars. But yeah, I've also made this comment about how people complaining, oh, there totally needs to be more lesbian and gay characters in video games. And I was like, would having lesbian and gay characters even add anything to games?
It would add a different dimension.
I disagree.
I'm saying it wouldn't hurt.
I'm just like, I'm not gonna complain if they're in the game, but I'm not gonna whine if they're not. Because I really don't think they're gonna add enough to the game to really make or break it.
That's I don't know, that might be like saying, well, we don't need any more girls in games, it won't add anything.
I don't know. To me, I just find the...
It's a different minority, it wouldn't hurt to get more of a variety in that, but this is Japan, they don't really address things like that most of the time.
And it's not even really so much that I have anything against them, I'm just like... I just get tired of them complaining about it all the time, and I'm just like...
Well, I don't know, how would you feel if every single game had only girls? Like, only girls, no guys. Like, when you want some variety?
I don't know. That's a hard question for me to answer, because I'm like, I know where you're coming from, but at the same time, I just am like... Is it really something that's so massive that needs to be added is my question, because
I think it's a part of life that's kind of missing in games, so it couldn't hurt to add more.
And I've actually talked with people about this and asked their opinion on the matter, and they said they wouldn't mind seeing it, but if it's not in there, they're not gonna cry about it. And then these are gay supporters that I'm talking to too, so it's not like it's people like me. So they said that one person made the comment, well, they understand where they're coming from, but they do whine about it way too much. Because it's like, if you don't put this in your game, in the game we want, then we're gonna boycott it and never buy that game.
I think it's more they're complaining about there not being any in general, and it's not in this specific game. Put it in.
Well, this is coming from a guy who has quite a few homosexual friends and a few bis actually, and he said that he actually stopped hanging out with one of his friends because he got kind of, let's say, a little agitated, or shall I say, got agitative towards him because he said, does the fact that there's not really a gay character really hurt the enjoyment of this game you're playing? He said, yes, it does. And he's like, why? He said, it's not like there aren't other games you could be playing that has them in it. Like, Persona is very popular because it has a bunch of different ranged characters in it. And also about Shadow Hearts and games like The Sims, like, those have those characters in it too.
Sims doesn't count.
Well, he gave examples.
Like, it counts, yes, but it's not exactly the same experience.
And I actually think he had a list that he found that he owned over the years that had different characters in it, and he said that he said there are games out there you could play, dude, that has them in it. So it's not like you're totally starved for these types of characters. And he said I don't care. More and more games should have these types of characters in them. And he said, oh, crap, I missed the jump. And he said, do you think they should be in every game? He said it wouldn't hurt. And I think he made a snide comment that he finds heterosexual characters extremely boring and pretentious, and homosexual characters are just better by comparison.
Okay, and that's just getting homophobe, only the opposite of homophobe, straight heterosexual phobe, whatever.
And he actually has some experience that a lot of the major pushers for homosexual activity are these types of people, and he's getting tired of it. Like, he has gay friends that are decent people, and are people that will get along with heteros just fine. And he says that's great, but he said there's very few of them he's been able to find that are like that, though. He said, and it's very depressing too, because we should live in a world where race and sex should not really even play a part in whether people get along or not. Like, we've gotten better about the race card, but as far as sex
it's
card...
slightly better.
Well, better, we don't go around committing hate crimes anymore, though, for the most part.
Yeah, people do.
For the most part?
It's not as prevalent, but there's still more subtle racism going on.
Is it in the minority, though?
And it's a little more common than it should be.
Huh. Well, that's news to me. I actually thought that we lived in a time where it was really the minority that felt like that, and we had mostly moved on. Mostly,
that's how it seems, but then you talk to an actual African American and they give you a different story.
Yeah, I may as well mention this. This stage sucks. Yeah, when I was a kid, this is another one of those stages that had me stumped for a while. It's not the lifts that suck, once you're used to them, but the stupid, fire chomps. Yeah, they suck. I hate the fire chomps. I called them fire snakes when I was a kid, but they're called fire chomps. But yeah, well, I'm gonna be stuck on this stage for a while. I could use a cloud, but nah. I'm gonna try to make this as complete as possible. But yeah, for the most part, though, I haven't really, at least in my experience, I haven't really seen how race and sex plays that big of a part. However, I've had people say that we live in a society that wants to accept the homosexual background, but they make it really hard because they really want to push the homos are better than heteros argument, which I really don't like.
I don't think any one is better than the other.
Well, I don't either. I just hate the ones that... Well, I don't hate them. That's mean. But I don't like to tolerate those types, though. And they're everywhere, man. Like, if you have any discussion about homosexuality on any major website, they're usually the first ones to respond to you. And I'm afraid to talk about it because of them. Because I'm so afraid that they're going to start a fight with me because either I'm partly homophobic or that I don't completely...
I think a lot of them are very defensive. Not saying they don't have reason to be a little bit on edge, but that doesn't mean they need to continuously attack people either.
Well, they shouldn't be like that to me because, you know, I don't...
They shouldn't be like that to anyone.
Well, but especially not
like, it's not going to help anyone.
And, I think someone actually brought that up on the Dragon's Den, where they brought up the debate about different sexes and how they react with each other, and they brought up...
Yeah, let's talk about that, how there's, like, barely any females, like, as a lead in video games.
Well, that's not technically true, I mean...
Yeah, it is.
What? In Dragon Quest?
Think of how many female leads there are in just their one game. There's Lara Croft, there's Samus, there's Bayonetta.
Do you mean main character or lead character? Because there is a difference. Because a game can have many lead characters.
No, I mean main. Like, that's the main one, like a Mario or a Link or Master Chief or, you know, something like that.
Well, do you count games that can be male or female as a lead? Like Shepard? Because...
no, doesn't count either.
Oh, okay, you don't count those. Well, if we're not counting those, then, let's see. I know of a few games that are like that. Like, I have... Well, she's technically not the only main character, but in, Odin Sphere, we have Gwendolyn, who is...
That's an RPG where you get a party of characters.
No, you don't.
You don't?
No, Odin Sphere is a fighting/platformer. Well, beat 'em up /platformer. It's not a fighting game, but
Oh, yours was an RPG all these years.
well, it has RPG elements, but it's mostly a beat 'em up /platformer, and I love it. I swear, it blends those two together perfectly, and you wouldn't think they would be at first. You would not think that you could mix a beat-em-up style and a platformer and have it work, but they pulled it off, man. Granted, Princess Crown has been doing this for years. They just don't make many games, unfortunately. If they did, they'd be as popular as Square Enix right now. But, yeah. Say hello to Roy Koopa, master of the ground pound. Yeah, you know that anchor I have? It's time to demonstrate. When you use the anchor, the airship cannot fly around, and it's grounded in one place, which makes it easier to deal with if you die a whole lot. Still, not my most favorite item in the world, especially since it's a one-time use, and it doesn't really power you up or anything, so... It's really the first utility item that I think you ever get in Mario, though, unless you count the Starman. But yeah, other games that female leads. Let's see if we can think of a couple. I'm cycling through my games in my mind, and I've played quite a few over the years, so I'm sure I can think of something. Let's see if I can think the earliest example. I know there were quite a few on the Super Nintendo. there was a main character who technically started as a villain, but actually really wasn't one once you delve into her character. She was the Sinistral Irene, who were four beings who